I'm sitting here in the kitchen and I'm baking some buttermilk biscuits. And while I'm up here breaking up the butter in the flour, right? I'm just thinking about stuff. You know how baking is very like relaxing, soothing, and meditative. There's certain things that we do that when we do it, like when I do my crocheting, it's like I go in a zone. So it's kind of like baking. I'm sitting up here breaking up the butter inside the flour, and while I'm doing that, I'm thinking of things. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. People can be a bit interesting. That's the motor for the refrigerator that you hear behind me. But I'm going to keep breaking up this flour. And I think that's going to have to suffice. Use a pastry cutter to break the butter up into the flour. I sifted the flour, right? And I was just here thinking about how serious life is and how it shows itself in ways that are pretty amazing. So I'm thinking about how when people pass away, and I remember when my grandmother passed away, trying to find the perfect shape for my biscuits, and here we go. This one right here. I was remembering how when my grandmother passed away, there was a tin, right? There was a rusted tin, and on the tin it said pennies. It was like bent up like a copper colored tin, and I went after the tin because you know why? It belonged to my grandmother. I just wanted a piece of her. It was an old rusted tin. Some would say it had no value, but to me it did. And you know what value it had? It was my grandmother's. I didn't have like a close relationship with my grandmother, but I just wanted something that belonged to her. From what I recall, she never gave me anything, but because of her, let me rewind the tape. She did give me stuff when she was alive. She showed love in her own way. She wasn't emotional, she wasn't affectionate, but she used to make these little jellos and put them in the bottom of the refrigerator for all of her grandchildren. And they would be on the bottom tray in the refrigerator. So every time you came to grandma's house on Sunday, there was a little jello cup. That's what I have to remind myself of my grandmother's love. And every Sunday when you go to her house, there was food on the stove. You know you was gonna eat well. So even when grandma didn't say nothing to you and she was in her little quiet seriousness, actually the only thing she used to ask me was, did you go to church? She didn't ask me nothing else but, did you go to church? And nothing else mattered to her. Because after you answered her, she went silent. And she went silent. So I didn't learn recipes from my grandmother. I didn't learn cooking from my grandmother. But she did leave a little thoughtfulness. So that's what I was left with. But when she passed away, everybody went after whatever was in the house. You know what I got? I got a little ceramic bell. Ding, ding, little ceramic bell. Because it was the only thing I could grab that nobody was going after. Because everybody was watching like hawks. That's what I said. When I went for the penny cup, the penny jar, it was made out of like a copper, like a metal. And it was all rusted looking. Yeah, it wasn't what was in it. If it was pennies in it, it was in the dining room, so it wasn't in her bedroom. And one of her daughters grabbed it. And hey, she is the child, so she has first preference, right? She gets the first pickings. So I backed out. And I took the little bell instead. And you know what? The daughter that took it from me passed away. And you know what? I'm quite sure that when she left, buttermilk. When she left, I'm only using 1 cup. And you know what? I don't even have enough buttermilk. I only have a half a cup of buttermilk. But because I haven't really been using this stuff, I don't mind. I don't think it's going to affect the biscuits. So I'm going to improvise, and I'm going to put a half a cup of unsweetened almond milk. And you know what? When that daughter who had the copper penny cup, when she passed away, I'm sure they threw it away. I'm sure someone looked at it and said, you know what, this is garbage. This isn't worth anything. This is garbage. This is not worth anything. Something that I looked upon and I looked at it as valuable. But when I looked at it, that's when someone else saw the value in it. And then when that person passed, someone came in and saw it and saw no value in it. Because it wasn't sparkling. It wasn't glittering. So they threw it in the trash. And you know what? I didn't get nothing from that aunt either, right? No one's called me and said, here, you could have something from that aunt, the one who passed away. This is how it is when people pass away. All the vultures come. It's sad. It's so sad. All the vultures come. It's so sad. They come pecking. They come peck, looking to devour whatever the remains are, right? But remember, so then what I do when I put the milk in, then I just stir it. Get all the flour incorporated. The 2 cups of self-rising flour. And I get it going with the 1 cup of buttermilk and the 1 stick of butter. And this thing come together so nice. There's a few people on YouTube with the same recipe. But this is an easy, simple, old-fashioned recipe. Buttermilk biscuits. So what happened? When that aunt passed away, like I said, no one called me and said, here, Gina, here's a whole costume jewelry, or here's a little blouse, or here's a whatever. Nobody did that. But it's okay, right? But what happened? They took everything. They took everything. And what happened? They left her earrings, her costume earrings, like the ones that were missing the other one. You know how when you drop one earring and you only have one? Yeah. They just disregarded them. They like, oh, this is garbage. They just like threw it aside. And they sent it home with my sister. And my sister was like, oh, this is what's left. Come see what you want. So I'm looking through the little pieces, the little remains from what's left of the aunt I love. Now she said she had a gold ring that she left for me. When she was on her deathbed, she said, I have a ring for you. I swear it's for you. All now, how they say? Me not see it. Me not see the ring yet. But I know somebody have it. Somebody was watching that ring for donkey years. So I'm gonna do this like 1, 2, 3, 4, just a little bit. 5. Sprinkle a little flour. 6, yeah. Oh yeah, I tell you, it's amazing. Life, what people become from greed. So I never saw the ring. And guess what? I did notice all her mismatch earrings, right? I did a mismatch. I don't know where they get that thing. Mismatch. All her mismatch earrings. Yeah, I'm ready to roll out the thing now. All her mismatch earrings. Guess what happened? There was cowrie shell earrings. One of each pair. Cowrie shell, my favorite. And it was apparently my aunt's favorite earring was cowrie shells as well. I did not bypass them. I looked at them like they were gold. Because I love cowrie shell earrings. But you know what? I didn't even know the significance of cowrie shells when I took them. I just knew, oh my God, she had my same taste. My auntie is gone. Look at her taste. So much like mine. She loved cowrie shell earrings. Nobody noticed but me. The cowrie shell earrings. You hear that? My mother didn't get anything from my aunt. When she passed, she didn't get a blouse, she didn't get a earring, she didn't get a ring, she didn't get nobody. Nobody called her and said, hey, here's something from your sister. Look at that biscuit. I put it on a baking sheet that I greased already. Yeah, I had it ready already. And the oven is at 450. Yes, nice and hot. Look at these perfectly shaped biscuits, you know. Oh yeah. And you know what? I take up all the cowrie shell earrings because you know what? I know the value. I know they hold value. You know why? Because they belong to her. But then later on, I get to realize cowrie shells have some spiritual significance in Africa. But because we lost that as a people, nobody recognized that but me. You see the value in knowledge and wisdom over the book knowledge. You go to school. All you know is what others teach you. You don't even listen to your spiritual voice. You don't hear the spiritual voice inside of you. You don't hear it no more. It's silenced. It's like the closer you get to that school stuff and that school knowledge, you just lose your spiritual essence. It's like you forget. Right? So now the next person in the family pass away, same thing. Not a thing. Nobody called me and say, here's a thing, here's a this, here's a that. And that's all right though. The vultures came. The vultures came. It's a sad thing. I think it's more sad. It doesn't make me vex It is making other people in the family vexed. But you know what? Don't nobody hold me to nothing material. Nobody hold me. Because look, all of them overlook the cowrie shells. More value than I could even explain to you. More value. I have the true treasure. And that's, nobody could devour. When you have the true treasure, nobody take that from you. So I just felt like sharing that to somebody, with somebody, because some of us get caught up in the family drama, you know, the family foolishness. And that's how people get you tied up. And they tie you up and make you feel like they own you. Don't let nobody do that. Don't be strung along. Can't nobody string me along when it comes to material things. Because material things is our downfall. You hear me? Always will be. So I'm going to put my thing in the oven. This is one I just say, children. I'm putting my things in the oven. And I'm going with that. This one is going to be big. And you have a blessed day and you be encouraged. Don't let nobody tie you up with foolishness. All right, peace and love.